Gentlemen, let me start with a truth most men never hear. By the time you pass 60, your blood vessels have silently narrowed, your circulation slows, and what used to feel effortless in the bedroom now feels uncertain or even impossible. The real shock? It isn't age itself that robs you of your intimacy, it's poor blood flow, clogged vessels, and silent changes in your body that you can absolutely fight back against, if you know how. My name is Dr. Mohit Khera. I am a board-certified urologist with over 3 decades of experience caring for men just like you. I have dedicated my career to understanding why intimacy fades and, more importantly, how to bring it back. I want you to know you are not broken and you are not alone. Here is the paradox. Many men believe that only pills, surgeries, or expensive treatments can restore their vitality. Yet, right in your grocery store, nature has placed powerful allies. Ordinary vegetables with extraordinary power to open your veins, revive your energy, and bring intimacy back into your life. Most men overlook them, and in doing so, miss out on one of the simplest ways to feel young again. Today, I am going to share with you 4 specific vegetables that improve circulation, protect your prostate, and strengthen your ability to enjoy closeness well into your 70s and beyond. They are simple, natural, and backed by science. Stay with me, because in just a moment, I will reveal each one, and I promise, when you hear how they work together, you will understand why men who make this change often say, "Doctor, I feel like I am 18 again." Before we get started, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another tip designed to keep your health and intimacy strong after 60. And if this message resonates with you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0, so I know how to bring you even better advice. Now that you understand why circulation is the true foundation of intimacy after 60, let's begin with the very first vegetable. It's one of the most powerful natural boosters of blood flow, often called nature's own medicine for men, the humble beet, a food that can transform your vitality. 1. Beets, the natural nitric oxide booster. When I think about the single most powerful natural way to open up blood vessels and restore vitality in men over 60, my mind immediately goes to beets. I've seen it countless times in my own patients. A man comes into my office, shoulders slumped, voice low, telling me that intimacy has become difficult, that his confidence has faded. And then, after just a few weeks of adding beets into his routine, he returns with a new light in his eyes. This is not magic, it's science at work, and it's one of the most beautiful transformations I get to witness as a physician. Beets are loaded with natural nitrates. When you eat them, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide, a molecule that literally relaxes and widens blood vessels. You may recognize that term because it's the exact mechanism behind the medications many men take for erectile dysfunction. But here's the difference. Beets do it naturally, without the side effects, and they don't just help one part of your body, they improve circulation everywhere, to your brain, to your heart, to your muscles, and yes, to the most intimate part of your body. What I love most about beets is how simple they are. They're not expensive, you don't need a prescription, and yet, the effects can be profound. One of my patients, a 71-year-old gentleman, began drinking a small glass of beet juice each morning. He came back a month later, smiling from ear to ear. Not only was his energy higher, but he was sleeping better, climbing stairs without breathlessness, and reconnecting with his wife in ways he hadn't experienced in years. Beets gave him back a part of his life he thought was gone forever. Now, I won't pretend that beets are a miracle food. They only work if you use them consistently. Roast them, slice them into salads, blend them into smoothies, or enjoy beet juice 3 or 4 times a week. Over time, the blood vessels in your body respond. They become more flexible, more open, and more capable of carrying oxygen-rich blood everywhere it is needed. When that happens, your body feels alive again. Your mind feels sharper, your movements feel easier, and intimacy becomes stronger and more reliable. I often tell men that beets are like fuel for your veins. Every bite is a message to your body. Open up, flow freely, feel young again. And for a man in his 60s or 70s, that message can be life-changing. If you've been struggling with cold hands and feet, with fatigue, or with disappointing moments in the bedroom, this is one vegetable you cannot afford to ignore. And here's where it gets even more exciting. Beets are just the beginning, because while they open up your blood vessels, there's another green vegetable that not only boosts circulation, but also helps unlock the hormones that drive male energy itself. Let's talk about that next. 2. Spinach, the green that revives male hormones. When I sit across from a man in his late 60s or 70s who tells me he feels drained, less confident, and somehow less like himself, I often think of spinach. It may sound almost too simple, but this humble green has a power that goes far beyond its appearance on your dinner plate. Spinach has been called the king of leafy greens for good reason, and for older men searching for energy and intimacy, it holds a secret that few truly understand. Spinach is packed with essential minerals like magnesium, folate, and vitamin C. Magnesium, in particular, plays a crucial role in freeing up testosterone, the hormone most responsible for a man's vitality, confidence, and drive. I've seen men with perfectly normal testosterone levels on paper still struggle with low energy and poor intimacy because that testosterone was bound up, unable to be used effectively by the body. Once they began incorporating spinach regularly, something shifted, their energy lifted, their mood brightened, and their desire to engage with life and with their partner started to come back. I remember one patient, a 68-year-old who came to me convinced his best years were behind him. He was exhausted, irritable, and said his marriage felt more like a friendship than a partnership. We added spinach to his daily diet, sometimes as a side dish at dinner, other times in a morning smoothie with berries and a touch of protein powder. Within weeks, his wife was the first to notice the change. He was smiling more, joking again, even initiating affection he had avoided for years. When he returned to my office, he told me, "Doctor, I didn't think a handful of spinach could do this." It wasn't just the vegetable itself, it was what the nutrients did inside his body, supporting his hormones and restoring balance. Beyond its hormone benefits, spinach is also rich in nitrates, just like beets. This means it works on two fronts, helping circulation by relaxing blood vessels and reviving testosterone to spark desire. That combination is rare and incredibly valuable for men over 60. When your blood is flowing freely and your hormones are active, intimacy feels natural again. It stops being something you worry about and becomes something you look forward to. Spinach is versatile and easy to enjoy. You can toss it into an omelet, saute it with garlic and olive oil, or add it raw to a salad. The key, just as with beets, is consistency. Your body thrives on steady nourishment, not quick fixes. The more you supply it with what it needs, the more it rewards you with energy, strength, and vitality. I often say spinach is not just food, it's fuel for your masculinity. It helps you feel grounded, confident, and capable again. And when men begin to feel that way, everything in their lives improves, from their health to their relationships. But as powerful as spinach is, there's another plant that works in a completely different way. It doesn't just open blood vessels or revive hormones, it actually cleans your arteries like a scrub brush, sweeping away the buildup that blocks circulation. And without clear, open arteries, nothing else truly matters. Let me show you exactly what that vegetable is. 3. Garlic, the artery cleaner. When men come into my office and tell me that they feel heavy, sluggish, or that their energy fades halfway through the day, I often ask them about garlic. Not because garlic is trendy or exotic, but because it is one of the oldest, most trusted foods for circulation in human history. And for men over 60, garlic can be the difference between a body that feels blocked and one that feels alive. Garlic contains a powerful compound called allicin, which is released when the cloves are crushed or chopped. Allicin works like nature's own cleansing agent. It helps relax blood vessels, lowers cholesterol, and reduces plaque buildup along the artery walls. Imagine your arteries as pipes. Over the years, fatty deposits slowly collect inside them, narrowing the path and making it harder for blood to flow. That restricted flow doesn't just affect your heart, it affects your brain, your muscles, and especially your ability to maintain intimacy. Garlic acts like a gentle brush, helping to clear those blockages, keeping the pathway open so blood can travel where it's needed most. I once had a patient, 74 years old, who complained of cold feet and poor circulation in his legs. He also admitted, somewhat reluctantly, that intimacy had nearly vanished from his marriage. We talked about simple changes, and one of the first things I encouraged him to do was add fresh garlic to his meals a few times a week. 3 months later, he walked back into my office with a confidence I hadn't seen before. His feet were warmer, his energy had improved, and when I asked about his relationship, he smiled and said, "Doctor, let's just say my wife is happier than she's been in years." Garlic didn't just help his arteries, it gave him back his spark. The beauty of garlic is how easy it is to include. A clove in your morning omelet, a few slices roasted with vegetables, or minced into a simple pasta sauce. It doesn't take much. But there's a key step many people don't know. After chopping garlic, let it sit for 5 minutes before cooking. This allows allicin, the most powerful compound, to fully activate. That small pause makes all the difference. For men over 60, garlic is more than flavor. It is protection. It protects your heart, your brain, and your manhood. It helps you live not just longer, but fuller, with warmth in your hands, energy in your stride, and strength in your most intimate moments. But as important as open arteries are, there's one more piece to the puzzle. Because even if your blood vessels are wide open, if your prostate is swollen or inflamed, intimacy will still suffer. That's why the final vegetable I'll share with you may be the most surprising of all. It's bright red, common in every grocery store, and it holds a secret weapon for prostate health that every man over 60 needs to know. 4. Tomatoes, the prostate protector. Whenever I sit with men in their 60s and 70s, one of the concerns that comes up again and again is the prostate. Many don't bring it up right away. They talk about fatigue, low energy, or intimacy troubles. But with a little gentle conversation, they eventually admit to waking at night to urinate, feeling pressure, or noticing a weaker stream. These may sound like small inconveniences, but they slowly steal away a man's confidence and, in many cases, his ability to enjoy intimacy fully. This is where tomatoes step in, not just as a common food, but as one of nature's most powerful protectors for men. Tomatoes are loaded with a nutrient called lycopene, a deep red antioxidant that gives them their rich color. Lycopene works in the background like a shield, reducing inflammation, supporting healthy circulation, and specifically guarding the prostate. Research has shown that men who consume tomatoes regularly are less likely to suffer from prostate enlargement and even have a lower risk of prostate cancer. That is not a small thing, because when the prostate is healthy, blood flows freely, pressure is reduced, and intimacy feels natural again. I remember a man in his early 70s who came to see me after years of ignoring his prostate symptoms. He was tired, frustrated, and admitted he had given up on intimacy altogether. We worked on a few lifestyle changes, and one of the simplest was adding cooked tomatoes into his meals. He began making a hearty tomato soup twice a week, and his wife started preparing pasta sauces with fresh tomato base instead of heavy creams. Within months, he noticed fewer nighttime bathroom trips, and more importantly, he told me he felt like himself again. His confidence returned, his relationship grew closer, and he even said, "Doctor, I never imagined a bowl of tomato soup could change my life." The secret is that tomatoes become even more powerful when cooked. Cooking releases more lycopene, making it easier for your body to absorb. So, whether it's a slow-simmered sauce, roasted tomatoes with olive oil, or a warm bowl of tomato stew, the more regularly you enjoy them, the stronger the protection for your prostate and your circulation. For men over 60, this is about much more than food. It's about freedom. The freedom to sleep through the night without interruptions. The freedom to feel steady and strong in your body. And the freedom to enjoy intimacy without the weight of worry pressing down on you. Tomatoes may seem ordinary, but in reality, they are extraordinary allies in preserving manhood. Now, you've heard about beets for circulation, spinach for hormones, garlic for cleansing arteries, and tomatoes for prostate protection. But here's the part many men miss. It's not just what these vegetables do on their own, it's how they work together, creating a powerful synergy that can make you feel decades younger. And if you think that sounds too good to be true, wait until you hear what happens when you combine them. 5. Why these 4 vegetables work together plus mistake to avoid. After we've walked through each of these vegetables one by one, beets, spinach, garlic, and tomatoes, it's easy to see their value, but the real power emerges when you bring them together. Think of it like an orchestra. A single instrument can sound beautiful on its own, but when you combine them, they create music that fills the soul. These 4 vegetables do the same for your body. Beets open up the blood vessels with nitric oxide, spinach fuels your hormones and supports testosterone, garlic clears out the arteries like a gentle scrub brush, and tomatoes shield and protect the prostate so everything flows smoothly. Each one contributes its own unique strength, but when you put them on the same plate, they form a complete symphony of health for a man over 60. I've seen this with countless patients. A man might try beets alone and notice some improvement. Another adds spinach and feels his energy climb. A third brings in garlic and finds his circulation becoming steadier. But when a man makes all 4 of these vegetables part of his regular life, that's when the stories get remarkable. I've had men tell me they feel sharper at work, lighter on their feet, and most importantly, more connected with their partners again. One gentleman even said, "Doctor, I didn't just get my health back, I got my marriage back." That's what happens when these foods work in harmony. But there's also a mistake I need to warn you about. Too many men treat this like a quick experiment. They try a glass of beet juice once, a handful of spinach here and there, or garlic once a month, and then they shrug and say, "It didn't work for me." The truth is, your body thrives on consistency. Just as you can't lift weights once and expect strong muscles, you can't eat these vegetables once and expect lifelong circulation. The mistake is treating them like medicine instead of nourishment. Medicine is a pill you swallow once and wait for results. Nourishment is a habit, a rhythm, a steady gift you give your body every single day. And let me tell you, your body will reward that consistency. When your arteries are clear, when your testosterone is supported, when your prostate is protected, and when your blood vessels are open, you will feel the difference not just in moments of intimacy, but in every part of your life. Your sleep deepens, your energy lasts longer, your confidence shines brighter. These aren't just physical changes, they ripple into your relationships, your outlook on life, and your sense of purpose as a man. So if you remember one thing, remember this. It's not about choosing one vegetable, it's about building a lifestyle that includes them all. That's where transformation happens. That's where you begin to feel decades younger, stronger, and more alive. Now, before we close, I want to leave you with one final thought, something that ties everything we've discussed into a clear, simple truth that every man over 60 needs to hear. It's the heart of this message, and once you understand it, you'll never look at your plate or your future the same way again. Conclusion. Gentlemen, we have walked together through 4 simple vegetables, beets, spinach, garlic, and tomatoes, and seen how each one holds the power to change your health and your intimacy after 60. Beets open the blood vessels, spinach breathes life into your hormones, garlic keeps the arteries clear, and tomatoes protect the prostate that so many men quietly worry about. Alone, each of these foods can help, but together, they form a foundation of strength, confidence, and vitality that can carry you well into your later years. I've seen men who thought their best days were behind them reclaim energy, intimacy, and joy by making these changes. And I want you to know that you can too, because age may be a number, but how you live, how you love, and how you feel is a choice. Start today and give yourself the chance to feel truly alive again.